All right, guys, in today's video, we're gonna be going over when is the right time to scale your gym. 2, should you just go bigger location or should you go second location? 3, the importance of growing a strong team. And 4, some of the pros and cons to going with a larger location or a second location. We're back with another episode, the Gym Owner Series. I got a really good topic. Somebody reached out and asked basically what was the process like from going from the first location, which was Conchi for us, 4,000 square feet, humble beginnings, right? To eventually finding a second location or a larger location. It doesn't always have to be, you go from 1 gym to 2 gyms. Sometimes that might not be the right move. Sometimes you might just want to go from a smaller location to a bigger location. And before we get started, make sure, hit the damn like button. Helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave us a comment. Any of you guys who want to open your own gym or current gym owners, leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to know about, like what you want to hear about, because that's where I get all these topics. It literally comes from Instagram DMs, YouTube comments. So please let me know what you want to know about, so that way we can make more content for you. So how will you know when it's time to expand into a bigger location or a second location? Either one. And my answer, because I get this question quite a bit, is pretty simple. I wasn't even thinking about a second location until we were literally blowing the doors off of Conchi. If any of you guys maybe seen videos, or if maybe any of you guys were lucky enough to be around Conchi back then, it was a fucking madhouse in a good way. It was packed. We had people working together, 4 people on a combo rack. And that's what helped build such a cool community. But at the same time, that was my sign to either find a bigger location or a second location. And it wasn't until it was absolutely apparent that I even started the search. Sometimes I've seen it, sure maybe some of you guys have seen it, where you get people that maybe try to scale too quickly and it could backfire very quickly. So make sure if you're looking at upgrading, make sure it's the right time, right? And you'll truly know when that time is. You'll basically be forced to do so based on the demand. To go back to my experience from trying to figure out what I wanted to do with Conchi to a second location or a bigger location, to be honest, I was completely undecided. Originally, the goal was actually just find a bigger location. Because I'm only one person, I thought it would just be easier to upgrade the space that we currently had, but that's not always as easy as you might think. We were based in Conshohocken. Conchi, if you guys are familiar, or if you're not, there's not a lot of commercial space, very, very little. So it was basically impossible to find just a bigger space that we could move on to. And that's ultimately what led to a second location versus just upgrading our space size. My mouth is parched. I'm trying to think of like the format of the video too. I gotta like start making like fucking I gotta make, I gotta have, I fucking suck, dude. I fucking suck. If you do kick it back to my situation with Conchi, the second location ended up being the better option because of the limited availability in our area for commercial space. And to be honest, when I originally came down to this area and wanted to open a gym, King of Prussia was absolutely my #1 pick. It's just at that time, I couldn't find any space there. So it is funny how things work out. Started in Conchi and then eventually ended up opening the second bigger location in King of Prussia. But with that, there was obviously a lot of different challenges. I had to build a real team with KOP. Conchi, you have the smaller location. I was there every day. I was the front desk person. I was the janitor, the plumber. I kind of still am, to be honest, but still I'm fulfilling all these roles. With King of Prussia, now there's 2 locations, one being much bigger, one that's gonna require more of a full staff. I can't actually do all of those roles. So creating and building an actual real team, truly the hardest part of any business. I bet if you'd ask any other business owner, they'd ask what's the hardest part? It's finding good people to create a team that are gonna be able to, work even close to the level that you do and have that same level of care. It's very, very, very difficult, but I feel like that's one of the things that we've done an incredible job of, is continuing to build that team. And it's allowed us to obviously go from the small first location to the second, and now the third. Oh, God damn. All right, guys, so these are some of the top things you need to consider if you're just going to a bigger space or if you want to do a second location. Going from a single location to 2 locations, now you need twice as much equipment. You're gonna need another staff. You're gonna need to train that staff. All your expenses now have just multiplied by 2. And you can only be at one spot at a time. And trust me, running from 1 to 2 to 3 locations, it's a lot, and it's hard to keep on track of everything, or it's hard to keep on top of everything like you would normally be with just 1 location. So that's looking at it from the negative, right? The positive is, if you have 2 different locations, you can expand your territory quite a bit. That brings a whole new market of potential members. So yes, expenses are gonna double, but that means revenue could also double. So it's really just gonna come down to what you're comfortable with at that time. It's probably a little easier to go from a single space to a bigger single space. But again, depending on what your vision is for your gym and where you see it scaling in the future, maybe it is the second location. So that's gotta be an individual decision that you obviously put a lot of thought into. All right, guys, that's all we got for this one. I hope you learned something. Hopefully we had some topics in there that, you know, can help you on making that decision of going bigger or finding a second location. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Comment below. I'm answering all these comments on a daily basis. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, do all the things, guys. It really does help support the channel, and we will see you in the next one.